TCT presents Public Report, a look at the issues and events of importance to our viewing area. Now, here's your host.
Hello, I'd like to welcome you to TCT Public Report. I'd like to thank all of our viewers for tuning in, and we just have some great special guests here today. We have Angel Lawrie here, who is the founder of the Steel Academy. Along with her, we have Alex Doherty, who's also a student at the school. So, Angel, I'm so happy to have you. Alex, good to have you here too. And so we're talking about the Steel Academy. Tell me a little bit about the Steel Academy.
Yes, thank you, Pastor Larry. It's nice to see you.
Yes, thank you.
The Steel Academy is really exciting. It's a very unique school. We often dub it the school that love built.
I like that.
Because we invite students from all over that have learning differences or just have trouble fitting in the normal teaching environment, and we brought them all together.
Wow, and love built that. So,
absolutely.
So what would your philosophy be of a school of that magnitude?
Basically, what I wanted to see was that we could do more for the students than just separate them from the mainstream.
Yeah.
So once we've identified that they have a learning difference, and that could be anything from an emotional disturbance to just having a hard time memorizing or listening or reading like the other kids do.
Yeah.
Once we've identified that, giving them the one-on-one help and just building their confidence. And one of the things that help do that, in my personal experience, has been the use of music therapy.
Okay.
Because through music therapy, I can not only utilize all the different parts of the brain, which we have I know I've had conversations with you before about music and how it uses all of the brain. It's one of the only sciences that does all the different parts at the same time.
Okay.
But I can also build confidence and a sense of I can do this attitude.
Gotcha. Wow, that's awesome. So looks like you've taken on finding this school, and how long has the school been in existence?
We're in our second year. The first year was wonderful. We opened with 83 students, and we closed last year with 106.
Wow.
And this year we started with 106, and we now have 140. So we've created a waiting list for next semester when our kids graduate. This year we'll have a few openings left for new students to attend.
That's awesome. So tell me a little bit about your background. How did you get into this field?
Well, I went to school to be a teacher, and I've always had a passion for teaching.
Yeah.
I think it's the most important job in the world. But mixed with that, I also love music a whole lot, and I love the idea of performing, and I love the idea of what it does for your soul. And so mixing that together in all areas of learning to me has always been a goal, and I've seen the benefits of that, and I've dedicated most of my life to studying that, and so Steel Academy is a living example. It's sort of like a lab right now of all the things that I've read about and all the things that I've studied and all the things I wanted to try, and we're doing that with the students, and we're having a lot of success.
Wow. So just take me through a typical day at the Steel Academy. What makes you different from other schools?
Well, one of the things is that we like to try and infuse the arts into the academics. So if you go into math class, what we'd like to see is using some sort of arts program while you're learning math, whether that would be music, whether it would be drawing, whether it would be acting, so that you're building confidence through the academic process as well. The other thing that makes us different that we worked on is we really encourage exploring your feelings and growing as an individual. So we like to we encourage the students to really look at themselves, and we use the word inventory. They actually get to take inventory of the things that they're feeling and doing, and we encourage that through songwriting. They're writing their own songs and exploring their own feelings, and that seems to really make a difference as well.
Is there a predominant genre of music that you guys kind of push, or different genres?
Sure. Well, the school was founded, my strength, or I'm known for my steel drum playing and performing. So I brought that to the school, and that's the instrument that attracted a lot of the students that first opened the school, the steel drum, and the whole culture around the steel drum, which is really fun.
Yeah.
And opens itself to a lot of different styles of music. But really, we're eclectic. If someone writes a rap, or someone writes a love song, or somebody writes a country song or rock song, all of that is welcome.
Wow. So do you have performances and things at the school or anything?
Absolutely.
Wow.
And we've done a lot of exciting things too. The kids, when they first started, we had about 26 students in the steel band, the original Steel Angels, and they got to play with Harry Belafonte at the Akron Civic, which was really cool. This year, they went to Chicago. We have over 40 students in the band now.
Wow.
And they went to Racine, Wisconsin, and so they've traveled a little bit, and now they're preparing to go to Walt Disney World.
Wow.
We've had many invitations to other things that we're going to pursue in the next couple of years. One of them is the Macy's Day Parade.
Okay.
We just couldn't do a whole bunch of trips in the same year because a lot of the students that attend our school are poverty level.
Gotcha.
Or have some financial assistance needed, and many trips in 1 year is a little difficult to do.
That's great. So I know there's maybe some viewers that could help support what you're doing at the school.
I would love that.
That'd be great. Now, how can they find you? Can you tell our viewers to the camera where you can be found?
Yes, we're at 1570 Crichton Avenue, Akron, Ohio, 44310. We're located in the North Hill area, which is right off of Talmadge Road.
Okay, great, great. And you brought one of your students with you, Alex Doherty. Again, Alex, welcome to have you here today. And I wanted to ask you, tell me a little bit about your experience at the school.
Well, I started with Miss Lawrie in 7th grade.
Okay.
And I don't know, I was like shy and like I didn't want to do anything, and like I was real nervous all the time.
Yeah.
And so she got me playing steel drums, which I don't really do a lot of anymore, but she did get me into singing also.
Oh, wow.
Which I still do. And then I continued there, and then we moved. I was in the Summit Academy High School.
Okay.
And I had heard some rumors about her possibly opening up a school, and I was like, okay.
Wow.
And she was like, well, it's kind of going to be like a performing arts type of thing, because she wants to like inquire like the music with the teaching. So I heard about that, and then I think it was the summer of my sophomore year is when everything was like finally into like full swing and everything was ready to go. So I joined, and then ever since then I've been there and I've loved it. I've gotten to go to Chicago. We're going to Disney, like she said, which is all really exciting.
Yeah. So it looks like there's just opportunities when you go to this school and when you attend. So
yeah, one of the messages that I'm trying to send to the kids and why we do those trips is I don't want them to be afraid to dream.
Wow.
Because I think hope is the most important thing that we can do to survive.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing that helps us get out of the things that hold us back. And so I try to instill hope in them as much as I can and encourage them to believe that good things don't always have to happen to other people, and that regardless of their circumstances, they can still achieve things.
Wow.
And that's really important to me, because once they get a taste of that and they realize that, it changes their whole perspective of the world.
Wow. Hey, do you have any stories of any individuals in this school that have kind of progressed through the school and seen differences in their situation?
Well, Alex, the reason I brought Alex is she's one really good example.
Yeah.
When I first met Alex, she was beautiful, just like she is now, but she didn't have the confidence to do what she wanted to do, and she was very shy.
Yeah.
And through the performing arts and through discovering her own talents, she's really been able to open up and become herself, and she's explored many career options for herself. And Alex, tell them what you would like to do for when you get out of high school.
Well, at first I had started, I wanted to be a cosmetologist. So last year, I kind of like during lunch, I had started, it was called Beautiful You. And I would teach girls how to better themselves like through makeup.
Okay.
And not necessarily like girls need makeup, but I know like it makes people more confident.
Yeah.
So I thought that would be a good idea. And then I've decided that I wanted to go to school to be a dermatologist.
Okay. Oh, wow.
And see, Alex came up with that idea at Steele Academy when she was being inspired by all the different things we did. And I really liked the idea that she wanted to teach them that they're beautiful just the way they are.
Yeah.
And she did a really good job. She did the whole thesis for that school. She did the whole, for that class, and she did all of the planning for that class and the lesson plans and the material. She did a really good job.
Wow. So how does a typical day go at the Steele Academy? I know it's different. It's, you know, there's some special things that you do. How would a typical day go for a student there?
It's just like a typical high school or a middle school. We're 6 through 12.
Okay.
So we're a little different in the fact that the middle school and the high school kids kind of react together. But it works for us because some of our kids are on the spectrum. And so we're at all different emotional maturity levels and all different academic levels. So that's really not a big problem for us.
Okay.
So it works like a typical high school, except more intimate and more family oriented.
I was going to say, I'm sure it's a very family environment. And are the teachers, would you say they're a little different than your normal teachers, or their backgrounds and experience? And
Yes, I would, yeah.
Tell us about the teachers.
A lot of our students, our teachers have children who have experienced learning differences or have had issues. So I think that helps them a lot. And I tried to surround us with teachers who think out of the box a little bit.
Okay.
So because we like to do hands-on activities in the classroom, I made an effort to find people who could think a little bit more than just your normal lecture type classroom activity, and could do more creative ways of teaching, because we're trying to teach the way that the students learn.
Gotcha. So what would you say to a viewer who has a child that you believe, or they may start to think now is a very good candidate for the Steele Academy? What would you say to them today?
I would say if you want to be engaged in a very hands-on environment and be in a family atmosphere where you can be, everybody practices tolerance of each other, that this is a good place for you. I also would say that I would hope that you would be interested in research, because I really like to think of our school as a research facility.
Okay.
My dream right now for Steele Academy is that we become a teaching epicenter, so that other teachers can come and learn from what our teachers learn and take that back to their schools. That's what I would really like to see happen, because I think a lot of the power behind teaching effectively is being able to change it if it's not working.
Gotcha.
And so that's one of the things that we strive to do at Steele. We do make mistakes, but we try to learn from those very quickly and find a better result if it's not working.
Gotcha. And so you talked about earlier music therapy. Give us again what really music therapy is and how it can help a person.
Okay, so music therapy does a couple things. The first thing it does is calm anxiety. That's the first goal of music therapy, is to bring down the anxiety level and help regulate the heartbeat. So that's one of the things. And then when you reach that and you're able to explore more, then it's to use all, like I was telling you, use all the different parts of your brain so that you can feel balanced and you're able to share your feelings physically and mentally.
Wow. Okay.
So what happens first is we work on the physical part, slowing the pulse down. You can use different rhythms and different tempos to do that, and getting the student to where they feel comfortable physically, and then letting them move and play at the same time is very effective, because then you're in harmony with yourself, and then at that point in time they start sharing and talking. So music therapy, that's like the primitive part of music therapy, but music therapy has come a long way, and it's being used right now and for people who are in car crashes and have suffered brain injuries, people who have Alzheimer's disease. They're using music therapy for a lot of that, because they're finding out that because it uses all the different parts of the brain, they can make the brain can sort of react, so that if you have one side that's not working properly, or one part, the other side can compensate for that. So they're doing all kinds of studies about that and finding out that it's a really effective method to use. I wouldn't say completely in place of medication, but they are using it for a big part of it.
Yeah.
They're finding out that less medication is necessary in some aspects.
Gotcha, because it can help in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Wow. So I know you have a huge background in music therapy, and tell us about you and these steel drums.
Okay. Well, I started playing steel drums at the University of Akron.
Okay.
And I was part of the group that went to Trinidad and brought back the first music on paper. We actually took the music from Trinidad and put a notation on paper for the United States. And while I was part of that program, we outgrew Gazetta Hall, which is our recital hall at the University of Akron. So we moved it to E.J. Thomas.
Okay. Yeah,
because
the big place.
at that point we were bringing in crowds of like 3,000 people.
Wow.
After I graduated from the university, well, I should back up. I did a couple foreign exchange student programs with the university where they sent me to Trinidad, and somebody else came here, and I got to study in Trinidad. So that's why I got to learn the art form so well. And then once I graduated, I started traveling with the drums alongside teaching, like during summer times. So I went to Italy. I played in Florence. I played in the islands, Jamaica. I did a couple cruise ships. That was fun.
Gotcha.
I got to do a lot of extraordinary experiences. Like they flew me in a helicopter, and I got to play, and then they flew me back out, which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then I've been all over the United States. I've played almost everywhere.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, at some point, someplace. Florida is a big place for me, of course, because there's a lot of steel drummers there. But a lot of people don't know that Ohio is actually the steel drum capital of the world.
Really?
Because we have two of the major steel drum builders and makers are here.
Really?
And they're the best steel drum makers in the world are here.
So is that where we get the name from?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then we have over 40 gigging steel bands right here in this area.
Wow.
So
if
we've
you
been
want
doing this a
to
long
do
time.
steel drums, you probably need to look into the Steel Academy.
Absolutely.
As a young person, that's awesome. Wow. How do you feel the Academy prepares young people for their future?
Well, for the type of student that we attract with the learning differences, I'm hoping that we exceed their expectations of where they thought they were going to go. A lot of our students come thinking that they'll never go to college or they'll never be able to get a job that they want to have because of their difference, but they find out by the end that they can, and that's the goal.
Wow. And I know, Alex, you probably see the same thing. Tell me, what do you see in your future? What are some things that you want to do now that you've gone to the Steel Academy and you're a vocalist and you do steel drums and you're traveling? Just tell me, where you think you're going now?
Hopefully within the next year, because I am a junior.
Okay.
I'm looking to finish up college or high school, and then maybe take a couple months off and then go right into college to just to be a dermatologist.
Yeah. So you're on the path already.
Definitely,
Wow.
definitely.
Got you. So that's awesome. So tell me this, with the Steel Academy, where do you see the Steel Academy in the next 5 to 10 years? What are some of your plans and some of your goals to take this school?
Well, like I said, I'd like it to be a teaching epicenter, so I'd like people to come and study. I would also like to investigate more of what we're doing with the kids exploring songwriting and doing inventory of their own feelings. Akron's a big recovery, has a big recovery program here, and we have a lot of kids with issues like that, so I would like to see us reach out to more of that population and help them. I would also like to see more of the performing arts grow so that we can really show the gifts that some of our kids with learning differences have. Because if you've ever heard the Steel Angels play, the musical gifts that our students possess are amazing.
Wow.
So.
Wow. And so through those musical gifts, they're actually able to work out some of the challenges that they're going through. Is that what you see
Yes,
within the school?
they didn't know that they had that talent because they were blocked, and they've taught me more than I've taught them. I mean, over the last couple of years, working with them has changed my life. I mean, when you're a musician and you study to be a music teacher, you study about competitions and going and getting, it's all about getting the medal or being first place
Right.
where you play. And my first experiences with these kids, when the light bulb goes off and they open up and I see how much it means to them, oh, it's amazing.
Wow, no,
It's amazing.
That's just awesome. Now, you guys, of course, are a public school, but I think faith probably plays a great role in what you do. Tell me a little bit how that translates.
It does. We have, in most public schools, you're not allowed to pray, or you're not, you know, they tell you to, you know, that shouldn't be part of your school. But I'm adamant to keep that very much part of our school. Our students are allowed to talk about their higher power or tap into that. And I worked very hard with ODE to find a designated area within our school where they could go and pray or meditate for themselves, because my school exists because of that.
Wow.
My faith and hope, and our school is there because of that.
What gave you such a great vision to do this? That's just...
I didn't have that vision.
Wow.
That was given to me. I mean, it came to me, but there were so many interventions of things that happened in the setup of the school. Steel Academy was formed in 5 months.
Wow.
And I took the Steel Angels to a concert, and one of the people that helped operate our school saw the band and said, "How can we help you?" And 5 months later, we had a school. And we looked for buildings all over Akron to try to find the perfect place. And I went to one after another, looked at buildings that were falling down and just leaks, and you know, figuring out how was I going to make it work, you know. And then I just drove by this school one day, and there it was, and I decided I'll walk in the door and see if they know of it. I mean, there was no for sale sign, it was available, and I walked in, and it was a Catholic school, and I asked one of the nuns that was there if they knew of any schools around that were empty, and they said, "Well, guess what? This one's available."
Wow.
So I mean, it wasn't. It wasn't planned.
It's like it was
It
God.
was a gift. Yeah.
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 Wow, that's just awesome. So would you say that the Steel Academy is a safe haven for a population of kids that may have been forgotten in a way?
I would absolutely say that.
Gotcha. And what does that slogan again mean when you say the school that love built? What does that really mean?
Well, you know, it was such a group effort, and everyone is so personally involved, and all of the kids feel personally attached to it, and they're also passionate about how it is, and I think that's the only way to live. And I think that a lot of our kids would rather be at school than anywhere else.
That's right.
Because they feel that love and they feel that connection with somebody else, and that was my goal, really.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Alex, I appreciate you coming and being here with us. Just look at that screen right there and just tell some young person who may be watching, I know there's a high school student, tell them how they'll have a great experience if they choose this school.
You'll have a great experience if you choose this school, not only because it's family oriented, but because everyone is so passionate about getting you to where you need to go, and as fast as possible, just making sure everything is smooth sailing, and they just want what is the complete best for you and for your life. So
that's great. That's great. Angel, why don't you tell those parents out there why they need the Steel Academy?
You need to come to Steel Academy if your student wants to be loved and needs the attention and needs reminded of what their gifts are.
Yeah. Do you have any performances or anything coming up? Or?
Well, right now we're preparing for Disney.
Okay.
We have been invited to play on the Kent stage, but I don't have a date for that yet. And they, of course, have their spring concerts coming up in March and April.
And that'll be at the school? Okay.
Yes, and they can contact the school at 330-633-1383.
Okay.
And we can give them a complete schedule.
Gotcha. What's your address again over there?
1570 Crichton Avenue, Akron, Ohio, 44310.
Gotcha. That is just awesome. And so you have your teachers, your counselors, you have all the things that a good school needs. Wow. Is there anything that you would like to share? Anything else about the school that maybe people need to know, or maybe we can let them know?
Just that I want them to be aware that in Akron, Ohio, that we're making an effort to make a difference.
Yeah.
And that right here in their own backyard, they should come check us out, take a tour, and that we're open to any help, volunteer-wise, work-wise, anything. These kids matter, and they're our kids, and it takes a village, and I'm excited to tell them that this is happening and welcome them to come and see what we're all about.
Yeah, and isn't it amazing how people can heal and be changed through music?
Absolutely.
I mean, that whole music therapy concept, it's just, I'm sure it's just changed so many lives.
Oh, it's a universal language. It's the language of love.
And tell me that one more time. What does it do to your brain? You were saying music uses...
Yeah, it uses all the... It's one of the only sciences that uses all of your brain at one time. So you've heard the title left brain, right brain.
Right.
Well, a lot of people think they're either left brain or right brain. They can do math, or they can only think a certain way. But all the cognitive things that happen, music stimulates all the parts. And so when all of those things are firing together, it not only brings you balance and helps you grow and helps you get smarter in a way, you know, because you're using all of it, but it also helps the parts that are underdeveloped come up, so it creates balance.
Wow, so it creates balance for your life. And I'm sure there's been many families that have been changed because of the life of their children. And so people think it's just for the children, but this is also for the parents and the family.
That's my favorite part, because if you have a student who's struggling in school and they're always in trouble, or they're always feeling like they're last or left behind, how great does it feel to sit in an audience and see people cheer on and respect and be impressed by, you know, when the Steel Angels play, people are blown away by that. And when I look out in the audience and I see the pride on the parents, you know, when we played for Harry Belafonte, one of the comments that I got was that every parent was in tears.
Wow.
That when you look out in the audience, they were standing up and crying, and I mean, because they had a sense of pride, and then that gives them hope too, as a family, that, you know, we're worth more than what we've given ourselves credit for.
Right, we're worth more, and now we can find a way to get better through music, through healing, through all these different things. So again, I just want to thank you, Angel, and thank you, Alex, for being here with us. Again, we're here with the Steel Academy. Thank you for being here at TCT Public Report. Make sure you watch us on tct.tv. Take care.
This has been Public Report. Public Report discusses the issues of interest and importance to our viewing area. Please remember that the views expressed by our guests are their own and do not necessarily represent the views of TCT or the station.